All right, welcome again to Junior High Youth Night. We're excited that you came, and we're just going to give you guys a couple more minutes to get on for those who want to watch live. Don't forget, if you did not get a chance to watch this live, we always post it, and you can watch it on Instagram later. Or if you've got friends that don't watch on Instagram, they don't have Instagram, you can go to the Crossroads website. You can click the button that says watch, scroll down to where it says junior high and senior high, and you can watch your junior high youth video there. We post it there every week. I think this whole COVID thing is like Alberta is rocking it. So I think we're about half the numbers we used to. So we are hoping sometime soon to be able to see you in person. But until then, we are still going to be live on Instagram. But we can't wait to see you. We miss you. Once again, we got all the youth leaders here tonight, and we are doing a little bit different for tonight for you. Our talk is going to be way more spliced in with a whole lot of games. We've got some fun games we want to play with you. If you like the games and you wanted to see the senior high youth leaders play, you can also go to the senior high website and watch theirs, and you will see some funny stuff that happens that night as well. That happened yesterday. So let's get going. We have got our jokes again. We've got Pastor Josh and we've got Joel. Last time we had Pastor Josh go first, and this time we're gonna get Joel to go first. So Joel, let's hear your joke.
All right, so this week I was at home and I was hearing this music coming from somewhere in the house. So I went over and this music was coming from my printer and I couldn't figure out why, and it just turns out that my paper was jamming.
So I've been eating a lot lately. I don't know, like I'm moving soon, so I've just been eating a lot of burgers, and I've been meaning to go on a diet, but my plate is just so full.
Good. All right. Okay. Thank you, Joel and Pastor Josh, for your jokes. If you wanted to let them know how much you appreciate them, or you wanted to send us a message of a joke that you hope that we tell on this night, you can do that. Or you can just give them your support or your lack of support. And you can do that. Just comment below or send us a private message. Perfect. Okay. We are doing something in junior high just because before we went live, we had Mike Varster and Dan Kim were goofing off while they were waiting to go live, and we were like, hey, this is hilarious, we're going to turn this, we're going to do this. And so we are going to have, what are these things called? Let's go over this way. What is this? What are we calling this?
Hop 66.
We're having a Hop 66 race-off. So we're going to have Mike versus Dan Kim. They are going to have to go around all these chairs, and the first one through the pink ribbon is the winner. All right? So we just thought of this like literally 5 minutes ago or something like that. So we don't know what we're doing, but we think it's going to be fun. Here they go. You can tell the person you were watching with right now, who do you think is going to win? Is it Mike Barstra? I have seen Mike Barstra's skills. They're exceptional. It looks like he practices. Or is it Dan Kim? He doesn't look so good, but he does have inside line. And so who do you think it is? Tell the person you were watching with, is Mike going to win or Dan? All right, here we go. I got my money on Mike. All right, Joel, you're cheering for Dan?
Oh yeah, Dan all the way.
Okay, are you guys ready? Let's get some music for them.
Ready, sir? You ready? Set, go!
Come on, Dan! Pick it up, Dan! All right. I told you it's going to be Mike Barstra. It looks like that guy is sponsored. I think he works in the kids department, and I think they do that often. He is a pro. So when you come back, you're here in person, challenge Mike Barstra to IHOP 66, and we will see how well you do. Alrighty. Youth leaders, we'll get you guys to tuck back in around there, and we're going to slide over this way. Okay, we are talking today about a guy named Caleb. Caleb is just this crazy character in the Bible, and he follows. Last time or 2 times ago we were talking about Joseph and how Joseph gets his family into Egypt. Remember, he was the one that prevents everybody from starving. His family has been in Egypt for a while now. And in fact, there's so many of them, the Egyptians become afraid of them and they turn them into slaves. And so the Israelites have been slaves for years and years and years. And what's that? You guys want to shut the door? Sorry. They have just crossed the Red Sea, so you got to remember that there's all the plagues that happen. They cross the Red Sea, they're on the other side, and we get introduced to a guy named Caleb. We see Caleb, and it's in, if you guys want to look this up, it's in Numbers, and it's in chapter 13 and 14. I won't have time to read this all for you, but in Numbers 13 and 14, Caleb is sent off with 12 spies, and they are sent into the land of Canaan, which would be modern day Israel. And they go like hiking all the way up, and they are looking around to see what kind of land there's there, what kind of vegetation. There's looking for fruit, where the crops are going to grow the best. But they're also looking for where the people are, where all the warriors are, where the fortresses are, and that sort of stuff. And so their job is to go spy that out, come back and report. And we get the story of Caleb because he is an odd spy. All the rest of the spies come back and they're like glowing about the report. They're like, this place is incredible. I wish we could have it, but they cannot imagine winning because they say these people are like, they're all warriors. They're saying they've got fortresses around their cities. And then the crazy part that really freaks them all out is they talk about the fact that in that country, there was descendants of giants, which meant that the people, the warriors that were there was a good chunk of them that were massive, massive people. They were giants, and the Israelites were terrified of them. So the 10 were like, you know what? Let's abort. We should not ever go to war with these guys. They talked all of the Israelites into changing their mind and disobeying God, because God was like, hey, I want you to take the land, with the exception of Caleb. Caleb is a brave guy, and you know what? He can't imagine losing. While the 10 other spies, they just can't imagine that they would ever win. Caleb sees the exact same thing, and he's like, let's do this, because there's no way we lose this battle. The second time we see Caleb's story is after the Israelites have been wandering around for 40 years, and this is in Joshua 14:15. And Caleb he's helped all of the other clans, all the other tribes conquer their land. So they're going through the land of Canaan and they're grabbing land and they're like conquering it. They're giving it to families, to different tribes. And Caleb has still not chosen his land. And we've got brave Caleb here who's looking around and he goes, you know what? I want that land that's up on the mountainside, that's up on the hillside. And that's what he's after. And you're going, why does that make Caleb brave? Well, we're going to play a game, and I want you guys to see just how hard it is when Caleb is saying, I want the land that's on the hillside. All right, so what we're going to be doing is we have set up this scenario for you, but we're going to do it in a bit more of a game form. We have got the flight of stairs at the youth center, and at the top of the stairs, we've got our giants, and they've set up a fortress, so you can see them up there. You guys want to, let's get some lights for them. All right, so there are giants, and they are going to be throwing things down. They're going to be throwing things down at the youth leaders, and their youth leader's job is going to be to come running up here. They're going to tag the table and run back down, and that counts for 1 point. So we're going to see teams of 2 doing that. We're going to total their scores to see who can make it up and down these stairs the most times, while the person with the highest score obviously wins. As you watch them playing, I want you guys to also imagine what it would be like. So we're throwing balls, we're throwing weird random objects. In Caleb's day, it's not like these guys didn't know that they were coming. These guys are warriors. They're not throwing balls, they're not throwing soft things. They're throwing spears, they're throwing javelins, they're shooting arrows. So when Caleb picks the high country, this is the sort of scenario he walks into. All right, so let's get started. We got our first 2 contestants. Alrighty, you guys want to shut the door? Alright, so you guys get what you need to do?
Yeah.
You need to run up there, touch the table, come back. As soon as you touch the tarp, it counts as 1 point.
Alright.
Okay?
All right.
You've got 2 minutes.
Easy.
Are you guys ready?
Oh yeah.
Get set, go! One, 2, 3, 4, points. Okay, can I get the Giants to come downstairs and grab all this big stuff? We're gonna get our new contestant. You guys can go wait in the youth center if you just went. All right, next up, we have got Brittany and Elise. Now, Brittany and Elise, the boys got 8 points. So how you score a point is by getting to the top, touching the table, and hitting back down. Okay? So you guys think you got this?
Yeah, we're brave. Definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
So this is conquering the high country. Now, there is a problem that the first team didn't have, is that there's now obstacles all over the stairs. So, okay?
I like a challenge.
Are you guys ready? I will give you 1 bonus point because you'll start with 1. Okay, Giants, are you ready?
Almost.
Okay, you can head up.
You
You can start right here.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna have to touch the table. All right. So for all those girl youth out there, I want you cheering for your female youth leaders. All right, you gotta get more than 8. Are you guys ready? And go. Hang on to the railing. Touch the railing. 1. 1. To the railing. 2. 3. This is Justin and Madeline, everybody. And in case you don't know, they are like a thing. They are like they got engaged since COVID. Right? There's a ring. They're getting married. I actually don't know. I wasn't invited. So yeah, they might invite me, but I'm not sure they would. I thought I was important in their life, but just saying I didn't get invited. But anyways, we still hope them the best. And so Justin and Madeline are going to be running the gauntlet. We're just getting the Giants a sec to reload. Now, I gave the other teams an extra point because there's a lot of obstacles on this. It is hard to run. Watch out for your ankles because balls on stairs are not safe. Or crates rolling down. Okay? So you're going to get an extra bonus point. You're going to start with 1. You're going to run up, touch the table, run back, and that counts as 1 point. Okay, are you guys ready? The Giants, are you ready? Yeah! All right, and go! One, 2, 3, 7 is still second place. You tied for the other girls group, but you did not beat Joel and Josiah. So let's get the last crew out here. Giants, can you reset? Joel, can you help them reset? Justin, you might want to help them reset. All right. So this is Dan Kim and Mike. You might have seen him in previous episodes racing bouncing balls. And last week they were a group playing Fruit Ninja. So guys, the record is 8. The last 2 groups have gotten 7. All right, so you got to beat 8. Now, we have got more Giants than we used to have. Just because they are wanting to make sure that you do not win. So you're going to be attacking Giants on the way up. There's also a lot more obstacles on the floor than there used to be, so we're going to give you a bonus point to start. Just because you're going to have to be flying up the stairs. Okay? Watch out. Stairs and balls don't go well together. Okay? So don't roll your ankles. Okay, Giants, are you ready? This is our last group. Are you guys ready? And go! One, two. Three. Four. Five.
Oh no!
Six.
No, seven!
That was six. 7. 10 seconds. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 8. Alright, time is up.
Got it! The last one.
Alright, youth leaders, we'll get you to wait in there going along the wall.
Can we see the pastors do it?
You cannot see the pastors do it. I would not take my life in my own hands. They would like kill me on that. So you guys tied for. They tied for first place. We had the two first and last team won. But I want you guys to imagine what it was like when Caleb said, "I will pick the hill country." He's got to fight uphill. It says there's fortresses on those hills, and that there's warriors. So remember, Caleb's already been there. And Caleb's already noticed this is where a lot of the giants are from. So not only is it a hill that he's fighting, but there's giants up there. They're not throwing balls like I said before, it's spears and javelins, and these guys are trained to get them. I'll let you guys go past. There's like this big, like, squeaky, the giants are coming down the hill. Alrighty. And here's the other part that I have not told you yet. What makes Caleb even braver or crazier is that the Bible tells us in Joshua that Caleb is now 85 years old. So he picks the hill country and he's like a grandpa. And actually he's probably a great grandpa. So what I want you guys to think of, if you want to imagine old, I want you guys to think of Pastor Dan. Alright? Now, Pastor Dan is 65 years old. Or he's close to that anyways. I'm not sure exactly. And it would have been really cool to have Pastor Dan here today and see him running up and down the stairs. You know what? I don't think he's horribly slow, but I don't think he's as fast as the youth leaders, because the youth leaders are in their 20s. At 65, you know what? You do start slowing down. And Pastor Dan is already a grandpa, so he's already got grandkids, and they're sitting in that 6 to 8 years old range. And so in 20 years, in order to make him 85, there's a good chance that his grandkids would then be 28 in around there. There's a good chance that they had kids, which would make him a great grandpa. Imagine Pastor Dan 20 years from now. Maybe he's got a walker, I don't know what he's got, but he is trying to take on the hill country. So that's why we say, when we talk about Caleb, that Caleb is this super brave dude. Now, the Bible doesn't say anything about how he got brave. And we've called this talk 2 Steps to Becoming Brave. And sometimes I think what we do is we see brave people and we go, man, I wish I was brave. So what we do is we pretend to be brave. We think that somehow in all of our pretending, somehow this is going to stick. And it doesn't ever quite work. So first of all, we're going to go through the youth leaders and we're just going to ask them, what is sort of the perfect storm in their life? What is it that makes them lose their courage? What drains the, I almost ran into the wall. What drains the bravery from them? Alright, so here we go, let's come over here. So youth leaders, we're talking about what drains the bravery from you. Is there a scenario, is there a situation that makes you lose faith, lose your courage? Let's go to Alyssa first.
Hi, I lose courage when I feel like I'm not good enough.
I lose courage when I talk myself out of just being social, and then I just step back from things.
Hi everybody, I lose courage when things don't go as the expected plan.
Hi, I get discouraged when everyone else is against me and I stand alone.
I also feel like a loss of courage when I feel like I'm standing by myself. I find it really hard to have courage or confidence when a situation is really overwhelming or I don't have a plan to face what's coming.
Hi everybody. I lose courage when I failed at something before.
I was also going to say I lose courage when I feel like I'm going to fail or I failed in the past.
I lose bravery when I like to be in control of things, and if I am not in control, I lose bravery from that.
I lose bravery when I'm in a new situation, especially if it's with people that I don't know.
I lose bravery when something's bigger than I am.
All right. Okay, we're going to go back out this way. The youth leader is going to set up an activity for us. I just want to talk to you out here where it's a little bit quieter. So, we lose our courage really, really quickly, and I think sometimes that's just because we're not that brave to start with. So, what we end up doing is I'm trying to walk backwards and talk at the same time. I'm going to drill the door or something. We're going to shut the door. All right, so we lose our bravery, and I think it's sometimes because we've never actually had it. Okay, we're going to be doing an activity with the youth leaders that I need to explain to you. They are in the other room right now, so they can't hear me talk. So this activity is a bit of a trick on them. All right, so what we're going to ask them to do is they're going to get on a board, and there's like 4 or 5 of them who've never seen this before. They're going to get on a board. We're going to pick up that board. We're going to set it on a chair, okay, and they're going to balance on that chair. And then we're going to blindfold them, and we are going to tell them that we're picking them up. Now, for you watching at home, you're going to see that the people actually carrying the board, they're not going to be picking them up, they're going to be putting them lower, all right? But what I'm going to do is I'm holding their hand, and you will see me lower myself down like that. So they're going to get the sensation that they're going up, okay? So they are going to feel like if they were at the chair, which is like knee height, that they're almost sort of at waist height or maybe shoulder height, and then I'm going to ask them to step off, okay? Now, they are only an inch or 2 from the ground, so it's totally safe, all right? But if we fool them, they are going to think they're way up there, and it's going to be fun trying to watch them grab enough courage to try and step off a board that they're blindfolded and they can't see how far down it is, okay? Now, this activity only works half the time, and this activity points us into sort of the point I'm trying to get across when it's your first step of how to be brave. All right, so it works like this. So Caleb, he doesn't say how he got brave, but Jesus, I think, gives us some great examples of how to be brave. And this was in Matthew 10:39. Jesus said, if you cling to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for me, you will find it. Now, I get that sometimes he's talking about your literal life, meaning like if you don't want to die, there might be a place there where you have to give up your own life literally. But he's also meaning your life as in what you choose, what you live for, what you strive after. So Jesus is saying if you hang on to that, you're going to lose it. But if you give it up for my sake, you will gain it. And the first point I want to make is I want you guys to realize that when we are hanging on to our own life, when we're trying to guard everything, keep it safe, we miss out on a chance to be brave, all right? And how this activity is working is exactly the same way. So the more afraid these people are when we lift them up, the more they're going to miss on the little subtle things that tells them they're not that far from the ground. So that's why this only works about half the time, all right? If they're not super freaking out, you will see that they're going to get the sense that, you know what, no, they got the trick. They know they're not closed, and they're going to step off fairly bravely, all right? But there's going to be people, hopefully, that we can fool enough that they think they're high. So what they have done is their own fears have sort of trumped their senses, and their fears have blinded them to the truth that's around them. The truth around them is they are very, very safe. But because their senses and their fear has darkened that, they are not going to feel safe at all. So let's try this out. Hopefully it works. If this doesn't work, I want you guys to look at last night and fast forward to Josh Swear. We got Josh Swear really, really good. It's worth watching. So let's go and see if we can get anybody. All right. Okay, you leaders, if you're playing, I want you all the way around the corner. Okay. All right, thank you. I got to put my mask on again. Hopefully you can be able to hear me through my mask. Who's the first person that's going to play? All right, Justin. Justin, come. All right. You guys got Justin? No, not yet. Not yet, Josh. Okay. So this is how this game works, Justin. So you haven't played this before. I haven't told you anything about this. Nope. Okay. All right. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to stand on this balance beam. Okay?
Squat on it, stand up.
Just stand on it there. Okay. And then because we're probably not supposed to be touching each other because it's COVID, we've got this COVID-friendly oven there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to your hand. You can use me for balance. Okay. Probably this hand right here. Okay. Because it's going to get a little bit harder. Josh, you can stay back. You guys can just stand there. Yeah. You guys are going to pick up the board. Okay, and stand them on the chair. Try and stay balanced. Alrighty. Okay, you got this? How are you doing? Good. I got a cough here. Okay, Josh, this is what I want you to do. Josh is going to blindfold you now. Okay, so a lot of your bravery is coming from the fact that you can see what's going on. Okay, can you see what's going on now? No. Okay, you can't. Okay? I've still got you here. All right. Okay, are you balanced? Let's get that chair away so it doesn't... Okay, so I want you to get your balance again. This is what they're going to do, is they're going to pick you up, and they're going to go higher with you. Okay. Okay? All right, so guys, you got him. Don't go higher yet. 3, 2, 1. Don't go higher yet. Okay, now slowly go higher. Okay? All right. Okay, stop there. Don't go too high. All right.
I think we can get him up to chest height.
I don't think we can get him up any higher. Okay. Well, I just don't. It'll be too far. Okay, Justin. This is what I want you to do. I want you to step off. All righty. Good job, Justin. Okay, we'll get that off.
Huh? It fell higher, yeah.
Okay. All right, come off. Okay, who is next? All right, Brittany. All right. So, Brittany, this is going to be your job. You don't know what's going on. You sort of heard a little bit of Justin. Justin did a pretty good job. Justin's a good balancer. What I want you to do is balance up on this beam.
Rob,
Yeah.
do you want us to grab the mat just in case? Because, you know...
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Just wait. They're gonna grab the mat. So this is what you're gonna do. It's gonna start pretty easy. I want you to hang onto my hand. So this is gonna be your balance, okay? And these guys are gonna pick you up and they're gonna put you on the chair. So we're just gonna make it a little bit higher. Okay, you guys got this?
3, 2, 1, lift.
Okay. Alrighty. You got this? Okay. So we're talking about fear and bravery. Right? And we just changed something on you, didn't we? We added a little bit of fear to you. Okay. And so, okay, we got, we'll do them later just in case. Okay. All right. We are going to add something because right now you're using your eyes to figure out what you trust around you. So Josh is going to be around you and he's going to blindfold you. Does that cover your eyes? You got it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Brittany, what happens when we cover your eyes?
It feels more scary.
It feels more scary. Yeah. All right. So this is what we're going to do, Brittany. The guys are going to pick up the beam again, so it's going to start wobbling a little bit. Okay, and we're going to go up higher. Okay, but I still have you. Okay? All right, go ahead.
3, 2, 1.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, now guys, I want you to go up higher. Okay, higher. All right. All right, Brittany, you got it?
Yeah.
All right. Brittany, this is what I want you to do from up there. Okay, I want you to take a step off the board.
It's about chest height. You should be all right. The beanbags are in front
You
of
guys,
Good step off.
you guys are ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Elise is going to catch you.
Absolutely. I feel like I hope I'm on the ground. I'm scared.
I got you.
Alrighty. Okay, let's get Madeline here.
That was a good trick of the mind there.
All right.
By the way, I didn't move.
Okay.
Ready.
All right, Madeline, you ready?
I'm ready.
Madeline, are you scared of heights?
Oh, like a little bit.
A little bit. And are you okay with balance?
I hope so.
Okay, so this is what I want you to do. I want you to stand and balance on this beam. All right.
Okay.
You got it?
Got this.
All right. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna lift up the board, okay? And we're gonna put it on the chair just because we're gonna add a little bit of height to this. So you can support yourself with my hands.
Okay.
Okay. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, guys, lift her up.
3, 2, 1.
Whee!
Okay, and then stick her on the board. Okay. All right. So what did we just do to you?
You lifted me higher.
We lifted you higher, and did you feel any sort of like more fear, or you're now in more of a danger place, or it's just as like before?
Not so bad because I still have support.
Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do is Josh is gonna come behind you, and he's going to blindfold you now.
Okay.
Okay. So I still got you here.
Okay. Wow, it's like a double mask.
Okay. So everybody with the crash mats. Yeah. Get ready. Okay. So now what we're going to do, you got your balance?
I hope so.
Okay, so guys, just pick her up. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to send you up higher because we're going to increase the fear. Okay? So guys, let's start lifting her higher. Okay?
Like they're like
I'm getting
shaking.
tired. This is like the third one.
All right, hang on.
Thank you, Joel.
Hang on. Okay. Okay. All right.
I can only do it to the waist drop.
Okay.
This is what I want you to do.
Okay.
I do not want you to jump. I want you to step forward.
Okay, just like little step,
Just do a step forward off the thing.
and I'm jumping down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Slow,
right.
the waist tight. Hurry up and get tired.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, you can take it up.
Yes.
All right. Did we get you?
Like a little bit.
A little bit?
They're going like this.
Okay, did you think you were higher than you actually were?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, why did you think you were higher?
Because you said you're higher, you're higher. Oh, this is heavy.
Okay, alrighty. Okay, there's my notes. Thank you guys for playing. So you can see, let's go back over this way. You can see that as their senses, as they became afraid, some of them, they knew that something was not quite right. They maybe weren't as high, but we did get some of them into thinking they were higher than they were, right? They're trying to stutter step. They're trying to they think that they're going to fall from a height, okay? In Cain's world, you got to remember, not Cain, but Caleb, you got to remember this about him. He went through the plagues just like the other 10 dudes went through the plagues. And this is what I think happened. Now, I can't prove this, but I think Caleb was listening to Jesus' advice, and the other 10 weren't. I think as the plagues came through, when the water in the Nile turns to blood, when the bugs come through, the frogs, remember the night, it goes dark and it doesn't get day again. All these plagues are coming through. I think you got the 10 spies that are going through this, and all they're thinking, they are trying to self-preserve. So all they're thinking is, when is this going to be over? I cannot handle this any longer, right? This is the longest thing ever. These bugs are getting everywhere. These frogs are driving me crazy. I won't be able to handle this much longer. All I got to do is make it. When will this be over? And all they're focusing on is themselves and the fear of whatever it is they're engaging with, right? But I think that Caleb sees things differently. It says after they get back from spying on the land, Caleb is pretty confident in the fact that he trusts God because he notices something about God. So it tells me he's not watching his own self, but I think he's noticing the plagues. I think when the blood comes in the Nile River, Caleb has got to be down there and checking it out. And he's going, how on earth can this happen? How do you change water? That's like a molecular change. It's not just dyed. He probably is touching it. He's probably smelling it. Right? As the frogs come by, he's probably trying to check, how on earth did so many frogs get here? How on earth did they clear out of here? How does the sun stop shining? Is it clouds? Did it just not come up? And he's probably thinking to himself, how does this work? Did the earth stop? Did God just stop the sun? How on earth does this go on? And because he's not focusing on himself, he is learning lessons about God. He sees a God that's super, super powerful. I think when they cross the Red Sea, you got the same thing happening. You got the 10 other spies and their families running across. And remember, they're getting chased by Pharaoh, and they're just freaking out. I think they are only thinking, hurry, run faster, get going. Because they're afraid that behind them, Pharaoh's army is going to catch up with them and they're going to kill them. And they're thinking this wave sort of stuff that's around, this ocean that's stacked, could come down at any minute and it might land on them. So I think they get through and they do not notice God's power, even though God is surrounding them by his power. But I believe Caleb notices. I think Caleb is slowing down. He's probably going, how on earth does ocean stack up? I don't know if you could look through the sides of the ocean. Maybe you could, I don't know if you guys saw Pirates of the Caribbean where you could sort of see through the sides there. I don't know if that was the same way when Caleb crossed, but he's got to be thinking, I am serving, I am like protected by a powerful God. So when he goes to spy and come back, there's no way he believes he's going to lose, because he sees a God that's powerful in his world. He sees a God that can stack an ocean, so he doesn't much care about the giants. He sees a God that can turn water to blood, that can stop the sun, and so he doesn't much care that he is a group of slaves and he's fighting warriors and giants, because he's just like, you know what, God is going to be with us. And so that is why he's brave. So the first point I want to give you is that if you want to be brave, we need to not look at ourselves. Remember, Jesus said those who want to save their life will lose it, but if you lose it for his sake, you will find it. The second thing I think Caleb does, this is in Matthew 6:21. So Jesus says this. He says, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So where your treasure is, that's where your heart's going to be. And I want to suggest to you, if you want to be brave, you need to move your treasure. We find it incredibly hard to be brave when we have so much to lose, right? If you've got a bunch of treasure somewhere and that is all on the line and there's a good chance you might lose it, it is incredibly hard for you to be brave. And I don't think it was actually that incredibly hard for Caleb to be brave. And this is why. It says, if you're going to be looking in Joshua 13, and let me just make sure I get that right, Joshua 14 and 15, that Caleb followed God wholeheartedly. So that means with his heart, all his desires were there. And remember what Jesus said, where your treasure is, that's where your heart is. So I don't think it's hard to infer that where Caleb's treasure was in following God. All right, so this is what I think he's doing. He has lost his treasure. He's moved his treasure. So his treasure used to be in his stuff. His treasure used to be in what used to be common to him, right? And he has moved that on to God. Whereas the other 10, they aren't, right? So they're worried. They're thinking, you know what, we have everything to lose. Let's not attack. Let's go back to Egypt because that's where we were comfortable. I know we were slaves, but it's better than being dead. Caleb, remember when he's 85? He is addicted. He is so into following God that he is just looking around for a chance. And he's not going to pick this lame way of following God, because he could have picked a really sort of pasture land that's low, where the people were small, right? That would be easy, because he's 85 and he's getting a little creaky. But he doesn't care about the challenge or the risk, because what he cares about is that he gets to do it with God, and he wants to see God do a crazy thing. So he picks the high country, he picks where the giants are, he picks where the fortress is, and he doesn't care that he's 85. So 2 steps I want to give you if you want to be brave that I think Caleb has. The first one is he stops looking at himself and trying to preserve his own way of life. And when he does that, he notices how big God is around him. And when you've got a big God, it's easy to be brave. The second thing he does is he moves his treasure. Instead of being an earthly things around him, he moves his treasure to a person. That person is God. And he just can't wait to interact and do life with God. And so when the risk comes up, you know what? He does not have a lot to lose, because he is doing that risk with God. All right? So if you would remember those 2 things, I think that you could be brave without having to pretend to be brave. That you would naturally become a braver person if you follow those 2 steps. We're going to talk to 2 youth leaders. We're going to talk to Josh and we're going to talk to Josiah. And they're going to tell you a little bit of their story and how this played out in their own personal life. Let's go to Josh first. You want to come over here, John?
Yeah, so Rob brings up a really great point that we can find bravery by either moving out of the self-preservation or by moving our treasure. So in my own life, I have a story that kind of relates this idea of taking my eyes off of myself and putting them onto God. Some of you might know this, some of you might not. I actually went to Bible school for 4 years to become a youth pastor. I graduated in 2019, so that was 2 years ago. And when I graduated, I was really, really excited and motivated to go find a job as a youth pastor. I was applying at every church I could. I was having interviews. I put hours and hours every week into this job hunt. And out of this, I applied at like 12 different churches. I interviewed at seven or eight of them and got really close on 3 or 4. And by the end of this summer, where I put in a bunch of time into getting this career that I thought God had called me to, that I believe God has called me to, I ended the summer at home in my parents' house with no job. I had some churches tell me I was too young. I had churches back out in the last minute. I had churches where it just didn't feel right. But all I know is that by the end, I was hurt and I was mad and I was asking God, like, why are you doing this? I spent the last 4 years of my life getting ready for this, and now I don't get to be there. Why are you doing this? This makes no sense. I'm so hurt. I'm so sad. I'm supposed to be in this thing, and I'm not. And in that, I got so caught up in my own emotions and my own fears and my own failures that I was missing what God was doing. It wasn't until I took the time to pause and to pray. I took the time to reset by putting myself into Scripture. I took the time to seek out godly counsel and wisdom from people I trusted, that I realized God was up to something. He was protecting me from something and leading me into something better. I actually, that fall, ended up getting a job that I'm still in today at a coffee shop in Sylvan, where I get to be a light for Jesus in our community through serving coffee and having conversations with our community. I actually got offered a job where now I'm working part-time at a church, actually our church here at Crossroads, that I would have never had the opportunity to do, to grow in, if God didn't stop those other ministry opportunities. And so even though it was hard and angry and hurtful, God used that season for something way better. And if I was paying attention, I would have caught on to that sooner, but I was too caught up in my own hurt and my own fear that I'd never get where I felt I'm supposed to be.
So you heard Josh say that when he got past himself, when he got past whether or not this was fair or not, that he was getting a job, whether or not this was right, his sort of fixation on the fact that he wanted to be a youth pastor right now, when he got past that and he was able to give that up, he got to see that God was still doing cool things in his life. And he didn't see those things until he sort of backed up a bit and started to look around them. That's one of the step one that we've been telling you about. Let's talk to Josiah here.
Hey, how's it going? So, about when I was graduating from high school, I was trying to figure out what kind of career I was going to do. And I had always really been interested in the outdoors and doing something in that way. But when I was in high school, my shop teacher got me into carpentry, and I got a job in that, and it was going really well. But I really looked into conservation enforcement and decided that that was what I was going to do. And I job shadowed an officer and signed up for school and went to Lethbridge. And the first week there, it was not what I thought it was going to be. And yeah, God just really turned things around. And I ended up coming back home and continued with my job in carpentry. And then shortly after, starting to apprentice. And a few years later, I finished my apprenticeship and got my journeyman ticket, and God opened up a door to start my own business. And it's just been so cool to see the different opportunities that He's brought my way through all that. And I would have never expected that or imagined that to happen. And yeah, so just that trusting God and I guess taking that step of bravery to go in a direction that I didn't plan and I didn't think was the way to go, but in the end, God has really blessed me through it all.
You can hear Josiah say, God is blessing him. As he walks with God, he's feeling blessed. And I think that's what Caleb has felt, is every step he takes with God, there's a blessing around there. So he becomes more and more, it's easier to move his treasure that way because he's confident that when he hangs out with God, there's going to be something that his heart desires close by. And you can hear Josiah as he starts to explain that to you. He doesn't say it quite like that, but he says his life is going in this cooler way than it was going to be before because he is walking with God. And you can see his trust, his bravery in his walk with God growing because his heart is getting more attached to God. So that would be step 2. That is all we have for you tonight. Joel would like to pray for you as we close. So Joel, would you be able to pray for us, and then we will wrap things up. Go ahead, Joel.
Hey guys, let's pray. Dear Jesus, I just thank you that despite the circumstances we're in, that we're able to do this online Instagram Live with the youth, and I just pray that you'd use it for your glory, and I do pray that we'd be able to meet again soon. God, I miss seeing the kids every week, and if it's your will that we'd be able to see them soon in the near future. I just pray for each one of those kids out there that are watching this, that they'd have a fantastic week going forward and a super great May long weekend. In your name, amen. All right, guys, have a great week. We'll see you guys next week.
See you later, guys.
Bye, have a good week.
Bye, guys. Hope to see you soon.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you guys. All right, we'll be here next Thursday, 7:30, same time. We hope to see you again.